Hello, everybody, and welcome so much to Enjoy the Show. I'm so glad to have you all here. Brian, welcome. Thank you for joining me, as always, as my absolutely most valued co-host.
Thanks, Judy. As usual, it's a pleasure to be here. And gosh, for not feeling so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Right now, I'm just sitting here on the Blog Talk, web link, and thinking how much we need to change this hideous picture of me with the rainbow sunglasses and my shirt off. So don't anybody go look up there at that.
Fill your eyes now, because it's not going to last forever.
It's probably going to be kind of, but it's good to be here. We got an amazing show ahead of us. I'm very excited, as usual. And we'll be doing everything except having fun and being enjoyed today. So if that's what you tuned in for, I'm sorry, you came to the wrong place. Just kidding. It's impossible for me to be serious, you know that.
Oh, and guess what, everybody? We have the pleasure of being able to spend the show today with Lydia. All of you know Lydia with the angel voice, and the multidimensional ringtones in that voice are just amazing, and her dear, dear friend, Rose. I heard her talking about Rose last night, and I thought, oh, what a great idea to have the two of them on to kind of tell their story and to play with us in this space of joy today. So I'm really, really glad to have you both on. Welcome, Lydia.
Well, thank you, Judy. It's very, very nice to be with you all again tonight.
Thank you so much for coming on. And Rose, welcome, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Wonderful. It's so glad to have us all together. And thank you, everybody in the chat room, for joining us tonight. Looking forward to sharing this whole evening with all of you. And please do call in. And when you call the number, feel free to press 1 so that I know that you've got your hand up and we can bring you into the conversation along the way. I have had a bit of a rough couple of days energetically for some strange, incredible, whatever reason. I'm sure it's meant to be. So I'm going to kind of hand this over to Brian for a little bit, and I'll be in and out and enjoying it with all of you.
Awesome. Judy, I love you.
I love you too, Brian.
So most of the people that are tuning into the show tonight are probably familiar with Lydia just from being on the show last night and the wonderful call. Gosh, it's probably been a few weeks ago now, where she had us all in tears in the most bestest of ways. And when she called back in, I think it was either on Monday or Tuesday's show, we were so happy to hear from her again, because the spirit that comes through Lydia and her most amazingly beautiful voice is just something that's so, it's like a magnet, and you just want to listen. The more you hear it, the more you want to listen to it. And so Lydia agreed to be on the show with us tonight. We've heard so many great things about Rose, but this is actually the first time that Judy and I both talked to Rose about 5 minutes ago before the show started. So what I'd like to do, actually, so we can get to know each other here a little bit, is hand it over to Lydia. And Lydia, you can introduce Rose and maybe give us a little bit of the background on what brought you all together, y'all Texas folk, and
okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Brian, for your generosity and your beautiful comments. It touches my heart. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's beautiful to have such beautiful, genuine love of your brothers and sisters that you've been longing for. To have their acquaintance for so very long. So I thank you from that place of my heart so much.
So very welcome.
And, my beautiful sister Rose, well, all of our sister Rose, she and I met not that awful long ago. I would say a little over a year or so ago. And she and I did not meet here in Texas, where we both live, probably about 4 hours apart from one another, but we actually met in Sedona, Arizona, where she was just coming off of some world traveling on some beautiful trip that she was doing with some other sisters in ceremony. and she landed there in Sedona, and my husband and I had made the trek to be there for 2 weeks to welcome in the beautiful indigenous elders around the world who were coming for a beautiful gathering. So it was at Adam Yellowbird's home where she and I met. He was the beautiful man who was hosting and who had set through his nonprofit organization the route and the way for these beautiful, what we call them the mamos of Colombia and the Oahu, which are referred to as the elders, these beautiful indigenous beings who have been holding this sacred space for these times and events that we're into now. And it's very, very rare that they come down from those mountains. So it was quite extraordinary. And we were gathering there to honor and to support that amazing trek that they made from Colombia. And other places around the world, other elders came in as well. And then local indigenous from the United States to honor their presence. So it was at that event where Rose and I met, and it was just beautiful. And I'm not, well, I am, but I know from the moment, first time that I met her, she and I, it's like we had known each other forever. And, I mean, we hadn't even met in the context of about 10 minutes when we were already walking off on this beautiful property where we were in Sedona, just walking off together by ourselves, just like we had picked up from, you know, you guys understand, like you were in Morocco.
like Bob always says, making new old friends.
Exactly. And she and I have stayed in contact ever since. Literally, I believe, you know, you could probably count on one hand the times that we have not spoken to each other, because we're literally in contact every day, either by way of email or phone call, just in the beautiful excitement of where we are now, all of us, where we are in this beautiful big picture of unfoldment. And we're there for encouragement or just elation of what's happening. And then, of course, we've been very much from the inception of all of your beautiful phone calls. We have been listening to these together and talking either prior or after. So that's kind of a little bit of my take, and then I can allow Rose, if she would like, to fill in wherever she wants.
That would be great. Rose?
Okay. Yes, we had met in Sedona, and it was really beautiful. Adam's land was sacred land. It was really, really wonderful. And then at the school, the indigenous were speaking, the elders were speaking at a school there. And the friends I was with, they had to leave. And I told them I'll stay. So then Lydia had a sacred bundle from other indigenous, and she handed it to me. And I'm also a channeler, and so the energy from that was amazing. So Lydia, I, Robert, her husband, and another gentleman, beautiful gentleman, we went back to Adam's land, and we had a beautiful ceremony. I think it was 4 hours, and it was just amazing. Very, very in-depth, very spiritual, and I feel very blessed with that. So, yeah, it was really great.
You know, it makes me think of, you know, where two or more gather in, when I say his name, I mean the vibration. You know, when two or more gather, we're holding space, and the two of you are holding space from your perspectives, shared perspectives, and your own individual perspectives as well, and sharing that with all of us. And I think that's what's happening everywhere, and it's gathering so much beautiful momentum and love and power and strength from that love that this shift is just snowballing, and yay for all of us.
I think Sedona was a place that the universe designed to bring soul families together. I love Sedona, Arizona. The energy of that place is just absolutely. The first time I went there, it floored me, and it wasn't the 108-degree temperature. It was the energy and all the vortexes around, and just the amazing red rocks and the sights there are just so beyond breathtaking. So, how long ago was that you were linked back up? Let's just call it.
That would have been.
Sedona.
I think Rose, you have to help me, but that was in. It was June of. Would that have been 20?
It was last year.
Yeah,
2012.
June 2012. See, I you'll have to forgive me because I can hardly even keep track of the quote unquote time anymore.
Right. Join the rest of us. Seriously.
Yeah.
I haven't a clue what day it is sometimes, let alone what hour it is. It's just
Right.
let alone month or year.
Right.
Look at your clock. It always says now.
For sure.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I love hearing stories about how people come together, and when you just know, it's one of those things you don't have to question it. You just know when you meet someone let's just say when you reunite with someone, because it is, there is so much more to it than that initial first meeting,
right.
And it's not like you could ever prove that you've lived lifetimes together. You had some kind of a soul contract together. Those are. It's like saying, "Prove to me that you love someone," or "Prove to me that there's a God." You just know it, and it's so incredibly strong and powerful. And it's like picking up where you left off with somebody in a very first conversation, and it's all amazing when you have one of those. And we've talked about this on other shows. I feel like, the time that we're in right now, in our human evolution, there's people that are coming together that are, these types of relationships, if everybody had a radio show, everybody would be sharing a story about,
right.
about meeting somebody that they feel like they've known for many lifetimes. And, and there's so much magic in that. There's so much purpose in that. And Judy and I were talking about this before the show started. We were saying, I said, what we should talk about? I want to hear I love hearing people's journey stories, the journey to awakening stories. I know that you could probably take up a whole 2-hour block in each individual one, because they're all so unique. And they're all so amazing in their own right. Like, Rose, I want to hear about your story about how you came to be a channel, because that's always the story that I ask every channel to tell, because there's a journey in that. But a lot of people right now, we talked about what I was saying with what Judy and I touched on before, is that people are really searching for their purpose and their mission. And I think that when you meet people in your life that you feel like you have a lot of history with, you feel like that's part of your mission, but you can't figure it. You don't know why, per se. You just know that you came here to do work together, and just knowing that is the first step. Because when the universe wants you to know information that plays a role in why we came here on an individual and collective basis, we'll know it. So there's nothing right now at any point in our lives individually. There's nothing that we're supposed to know that we don't know yet, because if we were supposed to know it, we would.
Now, can I ask you something about that?
Yeah,
I agree.
Because to me, it's almost as if I'm getting a message that's saying, prior to the knowing, there must be a letting go. There must be things that we are able to let go, old thought processes that keep us bound, that have to be let go before we are allowed, not just allowed, it's ourselves doing it, because you can have the information, but to have the information, you must be ready to use it as well. So there's this, to me, there's this letting go that must take place before that information comes in a way that can be utilized. How does that feel to you?
I totally agree. I think that the more we try to hold on to things, the more the universe is going to give us a nice smack and force us to let it.
No doubt.
You know, and so it's one of those things that's going to happen. It's just a matter of how gracefully you want that process to go, or how much you're going to try to fight it.
That's true.
So
good point.
Rose, just because it's burning on me now, now that I know that you're a channel, and I love hearing the background of, especially when I'm meeting new people. Can you tell us some about your background and how you kind of got to where you are at this point in your journey, and if there's anything that stick out to you, and whatever resonates, feel free to share. But I love hearing the stories of people coming toward opening themselves up, because ultimately we channel everything we do, right? It comes from a higher place. It's just whether or not we want to call it channeling. When artists, they channel their art, beautiful messages that come through on these calls, they're channelings of some higher aspect of ourselves. So I've learned to kind of, I really didn't know how to feel about channeling when I first found out about it. But I love hearing people's stories. So, Rose, if you could tell us a little bit about that, I would just absolutely love to hear it.
Okay. Mine started when I was real young. I always had indigenous around me, the ancestors. My earliest memory is 3. I was 3 years old. I didn't know I was channeling. I didn't know that was going on. As I got older, I knew all about energy. I knew how to work energy, and then I semi-walked away from it to, make ends meet and get into the workforce and so on and so forth. So I put a lot of it away and put on that role of today, and then in 2007 I had a very serious family matter. I was a single parent, and my whole life was on. And in 2008, I swore that if I can walk away from those hard things that were going on in my life, I would throw myself back into my spirituality, which I did. And the channeling just was automatic. And I don't channel people who've passed on, or unless they really, really are knocking at the door and they want to come in. But I don't do that. I prefer channeling my higher self and higher being, so to speak, in the light. So I won't channel, what's going to happen tomorrow, or, the psychic things. And
right, the trivial stuff.
Yeah. And some people, they say, wow, you remind me of the Long Island Medium. And I'm like, I'm not like her. Some kind of TV show that's on or something that people are watching. But that's pretty much it. It's always been really the indigenous, and then it kept expanding and expanding. And
now, how often are you in touch? How often are you in touch with the channeling? Is this something that you do flow through the day? Is it something that happens? It's every day. It's just constantly talking to you, and you're constantly listening and giving out the messages when it feels necessary?
Well, what I did was in 2008, I started what people would call, back from the 70s, automatic writing. I called it spiritual writing, and it just came naturally to me. I had to work on my ego, my perceptions. I had to get rid of as much attachments that I had to the brain in order to throw myself fully into it and accept it as one of my gifts. So, but it's daily. It's daily. Yep.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'd love to hear some of what you're getting these days too. So I imagine that when you're talking with Lydia, you discuss a lot of this as well.
Yes, and Lydia is wonderful because she's beautifully in that space as an observer, or what she calls, and I term, an observer, and she doesn't get her energies involved in what's going on around her in the so-called outside world. She stays, clear of the energies as best as she can, and she does an excellent job.
Yes.
So, whereas me, I'm still, I float back and forth, and sometimes I'm upset still or whatever, but she stays steady.
Well, what a beautiful friendship then, you're kind of allowing the mirror there, and she's holding that space, and I'm sure, getting some beautiful, obviously she calls you her beautiful friend, sister friend just like the rest of us, but obviously there's a lot of love. I have some friendships like that, so I honor that, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's priceless, isn't it? It's priceless.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Judy before we got started, I gathered some Rumi quotes to kind of help guide the discussion today, because I love Rumi. I love Rumi, and it seems like every time I need some, Rumi's just got some of the best material. I don't know how you come up with so much beauty in one lifetime. He probably has brought it from multiple lifetimes, just like we were discussing. But there's a couple really good Rumi quotes I want to share real quick. And where's that first one I was going to read? It says, wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will feed every corner of your life. And, I'm sure everybody could speak to that one a little bit, because when you have that attitude, and you truly, you fall into that space of being thankful for absolutely everything in your life. Because looking back on it, it's so funny, because, when I look back at my history and the experiences that I've had in my life, I find the experiences of adversity, I find those experiences, I find more gratitude for those than I do the day that I had the perfect day. When I look back, I don't say, oh, I'm so grateful for that time where, I won that trip to Hawaii, or, where I all these awesome things happened to me or whatever. I look back and I say, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that I learned what I did from that bad relationship. Or I don't even want to call it bad relationship, from that relationship that didn't work out. Or I'm so grateful for that time in my life where I lost all of my material possessions only to find my spirituality. Mm-hmm. And because it's this what do they call it? School of hard knocks. Right?
Mm-hmm. But it's always a choice. It's like you can, just like you're saying, I know this is what you're saying, and I went through that as well. I mean, I went through practically dying to, get to that stillness. And I remember hearing you talk about this last night, Lydia, with your husband. Right. And that's what, that happened to me as well. I went through a 5-year getting worse and worse and worse and not realizing it. Although, as I started to realize that it was probably something fairly serious inside, physically, I also realized that there was something pretty serious inside spiritually. And I knew the whole time I was going through it, and it was probably a good 8 to 10 years all the way through. Wow. Of having it, going through my surgery after 5 or 6 years of that. And then the being back alive after that, but with my new awareness. But the whole time I was going through it, even in time I was just in incredible pain, and all of that, I remember thinking, well, what an incredible blessing this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Lydia? Do you have any of those events from your past that you can go, yep, I got one of those?
Oh, my goodness, absolutely. Absolutely. I went through what you would consider the medical community, considers a very catastrophic illness, a very serious situation. prior, a few years prior, and then my husband fell into that situation. And both when I did it and when he went through it, there was, unmistakably profound, you can't even place in words, growth on the spiritual path.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you allow it to be.
Right.
That's key.
Yeah.
It is always choice.
Yeah.
Yes. There is, just awe-inspiring what manifests out of you, who you truly are, is presented forth.
It's that letting go. It's a ripping away or letting go. And it's like, if you're not going to do it on your own, then if you're meant to be there, the universe will show it to you in some way.
Yes, absolutely. I have something that I've hung on to that's so beautiful. May I read it?
Please.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, this is I think so appropriate because this little blurb that was written up is all about joy and kind of what we're talking about here. And it's titled The Basic Practice of Joy. And it says here, joy is an essential spiritual practice growing out of faith, grace, gratitude, hope, and love. It is the pure and simple delight in being alive. Joy is an elated response to feelings of happiness, experiences of pleasure, and awareness of abundance. It is also the deep satisfaction we know when we are able to serve others and be glad for their good fortune. Invite joy into your life by staging celebrations, by hosting festivities to mark transitions and changes in your life. You can toast moments of happiness that you notice as you go through your day. Dance, jump for joy as often as possible. Life is not meant to be endured. It is to be enjoyed. And then it tells us, we often talk about this spiritual practice in the same breath with its companions. We say joy and sorrow, happiness and sadness, smiles and tears, the ecstasy and the agony. The experience of one intensifies our awareness of the other. Sorrow, for example, may be the price we pay for joy. When we have known great happiness in a relationship, we feel its loss more deeply. Or think of those times when you laugh so hard that you end up crying. Joy will usually be part of a set of symptoms presenting in your life. The best protocol is to be thankful for the intensity of these feelings. When you are experiencing sorrow and sadness, when the tears are flowing, remember they can be and truly are stepping stones to joy, which is who we are. The pure essence of love equals joy.
Oh, Lydia, that wasn't fitting for this show at all.
I think that is so beautiful because it's...
wow.
Yes.
That's almost like listening to one of Bob's meditations. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Lydia.
You're welcome.
That reminded me of what I shared last night on the show about the little girl who said that all she could remember from before she was born was someone telling her, "Don't forget to have fun."
Yes.
That's been burning. That's been burning since I read that. It's just like...
Brian, it has me too, actually.
Has it really?
Yes. It was very profound for me to hear that.
So, it's all too often that we forget or we lose track or we lose sight and we get caught up. Mundane, everyday, this and that of life, and we forget that, every moment, if you aren't having fun, it means that you're distracted from having fun.
It means you're not in the now. You're thinking about something in the future, something in the past. You're dragging along with you something so that you can't be free. That's what the letting go thing is. It's in every moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. That brings me to a Rumi quote, perfect presence Rumi quote. The world's existence is one night long. There's a great lively gathering that night, but some people sleep straight through it.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful.
Pretty profound.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our customs for this show, Rose and Lydia, and it's perfect time to go there right now because I'm just feeling it. We ask everybody what brings them joy in life, and I'm going to go with Rose first because Lydia, you just read that beautiful passage, so I'm going to throw Rose on the spot. Rose,
Yes.
take it away, sweetheart. What brings you joy?
Really being. I love to watch the sunset, the trees. I'm very fortunate to be here. So in Texas, I'm surrounded by nature, and that brings me to joy. That and my children, my grandbabies. That's my heart's gonna just explode. It's just being. So the best joy.
Rose, sweetie, you might need to get up a little closer to the mic. You're sounding a little bit choppy out there, or you're far away from it or something. But we heard you. I just wanted to let you know that it might be a little bit better for us if you could step up a little closer to the mic next time, okay?
Isn't it funny, though? Rose, what you just said is awesome, and I couldn't agree with you more. But isn't it funny when you think about it, it's always the little things that bring us joy, right?
Yep.
The
Definitely.
sunsets, the little moments with your family. It's never some big thing, It's always that little stuff. And it's all that little stuff that's, I never understood it when they said the little things are the most important in life. That always confused me. How could that be so? I had to really grow into the understanding of being able to pick up that wisdom, because it truly is all the little things, because the little things are the big things. Excellent. So how about you, Lydia?
Oh my goodness. I must say that.
And Lydia, we only have an hour and a half left, so if you could keep it just a little bit.
Okay.
No, I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding because Lydia,
my heart.
Take as long as you need because this.
No,
is, this
my heart is just so
for
overflowing. I just can't.
This
I know you know that.
No. I'm totally teasing you, sweetheart. Take as much time as you need.
I know. I just I can honestly say that I'm at a point in the continuum in this moment of now. I am happier than I have ever been, ever. And it's extraordinary because looking from the outside in on my life, somebody might say, how in the world? But it's the truth. And what brings me a tremendous amount of joy, I've stated it before, but I'll say it again, is my being allowed this connection to my beautiful family. I have been looking and searching and waiting for this time because I began on my path from a very young girl myself. Extraordinary things, and now it's coming to fruition. So I would say absolutely at the top of my list it's that, and the fact that I have my husband by my side, that he's decided to stay and be here through these tremendous times. And when I say stay, I mean through this.
Be alive.
Yes. So that is just huge on my list right now amongst so many things like the rest of us. But this connection, being on the phone tonight with you, with Rose, the other nights and all of these months gone by, with all of our brothers and sisters from around the world and listening to the conversations, truly has just caused me, my heart to just burst with such happiness. So that's how I feel.
Lydia, I was just asked if you have a Facebook page.
You know what? I don't. I have never done in my life. And I know everybody laughs at me, and I told Rose, I think you're going to have to teach me. I know nothing about this Facebook.
It's easier than you think, sweetheart. And I have to tell you, I absolutely, completely love what you just said. And I have to say, I've said this many times myself recently. This is for me also. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I own nothing. Looking from the outside in, from a different perspective, I would go, "You're out of your mind." But I find my joy in very, very similar ways, and I definitely feel that beauty and that connection, and that to me is what matters, and I am thrilled to be able to be in connection with every single one of you.
Yes. Yes.
It's a good day when you know that every day is the best, happiest day of your life. Ain't that the truth?
Yes.
It is.
You know what? We have several callers.
Ooh, awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
So how about we go ahead and start that, and I think this is going to be quite interesting and quite fun. So let's start out with area code 805. Area code 805, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hi.
Oh, that's Mitch.
Good morning. It's our spiritual awakening. I always say that, like going to the yoga studio, I say good morning, and people are like, dude, it's 7 o'clock at night. It's like, well,
this is Mitch, right?
Spiritually. Yeah, this is.
Mitch, did you kill Randy? Because you're... If you guys, we haven't heard from Randy in the last couple of days. Randy, if you're out there, call in here, dang it. But you're our new first in the queue caller for like the last few days. So I'm just wondering where you're hiding Randy.
I'm actually I'm channeling for Randy right now.
We like you channeling for yourself. It's cool. Randy, you can call in anytime. You know that, dude. He's probably doing all kinds of work to get ready for the onslaught of people coming to visit him soon.
I gotta hear this though, Mitch. All right, you jumped in at the perfect time in the conversation. We're talking joy here, man. What brings you joy?
My dogs. My dogs. They're just. I got my dog when I was really lonely in my life. It was just I was living in a place that I didn't know, and it just really gave reason to my life. I've had dogs before, but they kind of keep you straight. It's like I can't, go out of town and just leave my dog hanging, or I gotta feed my dog. It just keeps me straight, and they're so transparent. You look at a dog, there's no ego there, and you can see their little different personas, and it's really beautiful just watching them. Like last night, I had a realization, and it kind of flowed into different aspects. I was like outside and meditating on the full moon, and I started thinking about water. During these shows, a lot of people have been talking about water. Yesterday, some guy was talking about, bowl of water and us being the separate drops, and the drops getting more calm, or the bowl getting more calm. And I thought about another guy that was on the show, and he was having kind of a difficult time wrapping his head around some of the concepts, and it was just so beautiful how there was just support there. It wasn't like people weren't saying, "Oh, you're wrong." There was just very much support. And what I realized is, water, like it's a sign of a big image in Taoism. And water, it just takes the path of least resistance. It doesn't fight the rocks and the sand or anything. It just flows. And although we might take a different path around a rock, we're all going to the same place. We're all going to the sea. And so last night I channeled this song. I like to call it the Judy mantra, and it's just like it's 3 short verses. Can I read it?
Go for it.
All right. So maybe we could do it in a call and response. I could say it for like a church hand type of thing. I could say the first line, and then you guys could say the first line. Can you help me out and get my back on this?
Is it a natural thing we're going to know, or is this something you have to tell us what to say?
Well, yeah, it's like church hand. You know, it's a call and response. I say the call. You don't say the response. It's a call and a call. I say the call, and then you say the call. I'll say one sentence, and then you repeat the sentence.
Repeat it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, here's the first line. I am the water.
Is that two I's?
I am the water.
Okay.
Two I's. I am the water.
Flowing home to the sea.
Flowing home
to the sea.
We are the water.
We are the water.
River of love, going home, 'cause we are free.
River of
love,
going home, 'cause we are free.
Because we are free. Okay, here's the second one. I am the light.
I am the light.
Shining ray of the sun.
Shining ray
of the sun.
We are the light.
We are the light.
Reflections of the universal love.
Reflections of the universal love.
All right. So you guys are sounding kind of like we're I don't know. It sounds kind of mundane. This is the Joy Show. So let's do the last one with the little song. Okay. So it goes. It kind of sounds like we're just repeating it in church. Like that's what I would do in church. Everybody say amen, amen. Okay. For the last one, kind of channeling James Brown. That's your guys' direction. I am the space.
I'm laughing out loud right now.
So let's jump on board right away instead of waiting for everybody else. Let's just do it, okay?
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. I am the space.
I
am the space.
In between the stars and moon.
In between the stars and moon.
Because we are the space.
Because we are the space.
In between the thoughts.
In between the thoughts.
We have found the truth.
We have found
the truth.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying? In between our thoughts, there's the truth. It's the space in between the thoughts, not the thoughts.
True.
Thanks, you guys, for having my back. I just,
You're awesome, guys.
That was beautiful.
Hey, Mitch. That was awesome, man. Thanks for calling, man. Keep them coming.
Thank you, man.
Right on. The market. Bless you guys.
Peace, brother.
That's too cool. I have to make sure I don't mute Rose here.
You know that awkward scene when you're trying to teach choir, for the first time. That's how that felt for me.
Yeah,
but till the end, but I love you, Mitch. That was awesome. That was.
You got us on board now.
2 thumbs up, man.
Too fun. All right. Well, let's go with that. Go with. Actually, Stefan is on board. Let's go with Stefan, because I love his voice.
Stefan.
Hi, Stefan.
Hey, how you doing?
You there?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I can hear you. Okay.
He might have a bad signal.
Let me try that. Uh-oh, I lost him.
Linda, Mitch was that in 432 hertz? Yes.
Uh-oh, he dropped off. Stefan, call back in. I'll catch you in a minute, okay?
That was solar or whatever that one was.
Yeah.
Not throat chakra.
Now here's somebody called Rising Soul. and I believe, and that's SOL. I believe that they want to be on the call. We'll see. Rising Soul, hi.
Hello.
Did you want? Hi.
Can you hear me?
How are you? Yes.
Oh, yes. Perfectly.
Hey, great. I've been wanting to get on here for a long time.
Really? The Enjoy Show? I think we've only been doing this for the last couple months.
Well, I know, but you know.
I'm just messing with
Well,
you.
welcome to the Enjoy Show. What's your name?
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, come on.
Another
Really?
Brian. Yeah, it's not
Brian,
like
I was going to even write you today, but I didn't. Now I get to talk to you.
Hey, what's the first question you ask another Brian when you first meet them?
How do you spell your name?
Do you spell it with an I or a Y?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
At least that's my cheesy question that I always ask every other Brian. Is it an I or a Y, my man? You're not going to lose a friend either way.
No, it's an R, just like yours. Cool coincidence.
Well, oh my God, we must be long lost brothers. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great.
What's going on, Brian?
Yeah, what's
Hi,
up,
Judy?
Hi, nice to meet you on here.
I didn't know I was going to get on. I'm surprised you called me up. I never pushed one or anything.
But it's because you're on the Skype call, I think, and your name comes up, and so I just automatically assume you want to talk.
Okay.
Because that's the way Steffens does. But I pulled him up, and I think I kicked him off, or he kicked himself off, or something. So you get to talk now, if you want to.
Okay. Sure. I didn't know what. I'm kind of caught me off guard.
Well, if there was any one question that you wanted to ask any of us, or anything that you wanted to share with us, what would that be?
You have 12 minutes. The floor is yours. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Where are you from, Brian?
Washington State, Tacoma.
Okay.
Washington State. Are you going to be going to the Montana gathering with Patrick and Whitney and Katie?
I wish I could. I've got real serious health issues, so I'm kind of housebound right now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So yeah, I like 5D Media Network's my life.
Yeah, it's mine too, and I don't have those.
Ditto, buddy. Ditto. What brings you joy, my friend? That's kind of the question of the day. I guess when I make connections like this, and whenever I can make connections, I'm really lacking the physical connections right now. So I just heard Chris Hale say something the other day on one of the other shows. He says, well, just like get in these chat rooms, find somebody, connect one by one. Well, okay, I started doing that today.
Good.
The chat rooms are a real challenge. They're a real challenge for me to keep up and to type.
But you know what? You get used to it. You do. When I first started doing it, when I came on to the 5D Media Network back in February and started with the chat, I felt like I was like in the midst of chaos. I'm like, I can't keep up with you people, and they're like, it's okay, it's all right. I'm like, okay, fine, I know it is anyway. But it took me a while, and oh my goodness, I made so many wonderful friends on there. There's so many beautiful people in the chat room that are family. You know, they're family. Did you hear that, people? You're family. You know that, though, don't you?
Even me?
Oh, yeah.
Even me, Judy?
Absolutely, sweetie. Even you're my bro, Brian.
Seriously. Now you got two bro Brians.
Exactly.
Well, Brian, we love having new callers call in, man, and we love all the support. You empower us just like we, sounds like, empower you. So we are grateful to you, my friend, and we're thankful that you called in, and we're thankful that you're sharing your time with us tonight. And we don't want you to ever forget that all the way up there in Washington State, because there is no distance and separation between us. We are one, my friend, and I'm sure that we'll be making lots of awesome connections in physicality and in density in the not-so-far-off future. That I guarantee you.
Yeah, what he said.
Yes. Yeah, distance is nothing. Physical distance is nothing.
Absolutely. And we're holding... Go ahead.
I'm just saying what... You feel the connection in your heart. Everything you feel in your heart, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And we're holding space for your healing, my friend, because at your soul level, you're in perfect health. And you'll get back there.
Yes, I am. I will.
Love you, Brian. Thank you for calling.
Love you too. Brother. Thanks.
Right. Yes, love you, Brian.
So Stefan's back. Let's see if I can pull him on without kicking him off this time. Hi, Stefan.
Hey, how you going?
Good. How are you?
Very well.
Hello,
very
Stefan.
well. Yeah.
Good.
Brian, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. My brother from down under.
That's me, mate. That's me.
Yeah. We don't have Stefans here in this country. They're Stevens, but I think Stefan sounds a lot.
There are some Stefans.
Really?
Yeah, I've met Stefans before. I got a few years on you.
Well, this is the only real Stefan in my life. Thank you for filling that space, brother. I appreciate that. You're the only Stefan in my. What's going on with you, man?
Tapping into this again. I've been doing all of these shows since the start of it. So it's I basically I'm hooked. I can't miss a show basically, Brian. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm just
Stefan, I don't know if we've asked you before, but talk about joy. What brings you joy?
Well, as I was listening to the subject being brought up, I was actually thinking about just how I interact with my son when we were talking about the small things. And my son and I, we've just got this amazing relationship, and we're just super connected, very naturally, and really simple things that I have to do with him. I get a great amount of joy from dropping him off at school yesterday. I don't know why it was such a joyous experience, but as I was walking back to the car, I was literally jumping for joy. I couldn't hold it inside. I was literally doing that, jump up in the air and kick my feet together, because it's just, I'm doing, like, that is the best thing that I could possibly be doing. Now, I've done a deep dive as of I think it was mid-April-ish. I basically bounced from full-time employment, in fact, employment altogether, and have really been doing my own thing since. And it's been thrown like major spanners into the works of the old machine that was me. Even though what's happening to me now is something that it's been, like screaming to happen for so long. So really, I'm getting joy out of like so many things now, just out of living. Because I've been giving myself an opportunity. Yeah, totally. I've given myself the opportunity. Like the idea was, I'm going to bounce from work and maybe I'll be able to get myself into a space where I'll be able to look at some other occupation, because I wasn't really digging what I was doing. But I'm
welcome to the club, mate.
Digging what I'm doing. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's awesome.
You're gonna love this Rumi quote, Stefan. Listen to this. As you start to walk out on the way appears.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
does it feel that? Does it feel like that?
It does. And these interactions that we're having are making that way so much easier, because it is there. And when we discuss these things, it is that easy that it seems hard. It's so simple that it just seems difficult. Can it really be that easy to for the way to be made available to me? Made available. It's not even that complicated. You know what I mean? It really does seem. It's so
you
easy.
You created it shows up. So, Stefan,
Yeah,
I have a question for you. You were telling us the other day that you had just dropped your son off at this school, and Jade had called in. That was last week. And you said that you literally had dropped him off at the school that she said that she was getting ready to go work at. Is it the same school? Because I know that she's there now.
It's not the same school. It's the same style of school. In Australia, it's an alternative form of schooling.
Right.
It's not the mainstream way of doing it. It's schooling based on the philosophies of Rudolf Steiner. Look him up, check it out. To summarize his philosophy when it comes to schooling, to give it a really quick tagline, is to make free-thinking people. That's the idea. But that being said, and to be as fair as possible, it is a system, right? You know what I mean? So it really depends on what your idea of freedom is. Is it a walled garden of freedom, or is it freedom? You know what I'm saying? So
well, it's as close as we can get it. Well, not as close, but certainly closer than we can get from the main system. But I know that Jade left. Oh goodness, where is it? She lived on the small island. What's that called? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of the name of it.
A small island?
Well, the island south of Australia. Where Kiri's from? New Zealand.
New Zealand.
She left New Zealand to move to the mainland to go to work at this school, and she got there this week, and her first day of school was yesterday, and she actually wrote in today. She's like, oh, my gosh. She's like, I'm so sorry I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm going to actually be with the lovely children today, so say hello to everybody. Because I've got people who are saying, hey, Jade, call in. And it's like, she can't. She's at work. Happily so.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. The Steiner community always needs more teachers, and I was approached earlier, because not only do they need more teachers, but they're always after male teachers, because there's a bit of a shortage there, of course, across the board in teaching. Guys aren't really seem to be in the demographic there, so so good to hear that Jade's made that leap. It's really cool. The community factor is so awesome, being a part of this school community. I mean, this afternoon I'm going to have a massive joy session. Every Thursday afternoon I make milkshakes after school to raise money for the school. I'm part of the whole. There's a market every Thursday, I've been. Since I've got the time, I can go down to the school and before school finishes, set it all up and sell milkshakes and raise money for the school to, because it's not a private school, it's a state school, so it's funded by the states. So state schools don't get the most funding, and I reckon that people who are providing them services gouge them as well for the money that they do get. So. It's cool.
Can't you guys imagine Stefano's little milkshake on the side of the street? And it said no lemonade's got his little milkshake apron on. Milkshakes for dog. Dude, Stefan, you're a cool cat, man.
Well, Stefan needs to have a microphone and start talking, and they'll all come up. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but
it's all good. Hey, these are gifts, and it's interesting. Lydia being on the line as well. I mean, it's when the point was. I guess our attention was brought to Lydia's vocal qualities. and I was laughing because that was how I was put on the spot to a certain degree. But these are gifts, right? You know, and I love that you love it, and you know, I really do. And Lydia, wow, yeah.
You.
Awesome stuff, man. Stefan, we always love when you call in, man.
Did you have any questions for Lydia or Rose?
No, I don't.
Well, say hi.
I just like to say, yeah, definitely love to say hi, and it's great to be a part of this with both of you and the extended the extended elements of you, and yay, let's do this, let's keep on doing it. It's just feeling so great, yeah.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much love to all of you.
Much love to you too, Bud. Thank you so much for calling in.
It's not fair. Thanks. I want an accent like Stefan.
It's not his accent, it's the tone of the quality of his voice.
It's not fair, man.
Anyway.
It's a gift. Be grateful.
Yeah, it's, you know, we've all got our gifts. Brian, you've got yours too, sweetie. We all do.
Oh, wow.
Stefan. Thank you, Stefan. Take care. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.
Good, man.
Oh, my gosh. I'm feeling better. Thank you. All of you. It's not just Stefan, I promise.
Even me?
Even you, sweetie, especially you. That is one of your gifts. Your energy is so high and so loving and so fun. And you're smart, and you always have the right thing to say, and you know how to come in and lift things up and move things on, and thank you.
Oh, wow. Somebody needs to record this. I need the archive, and I'm going to cut that little piece out right there.
Put it on a recording so that you can listen to it.
It's going to be my ringtone for my phone.
I love it. We do have more callers. If anybody has anything to talk about in between, let me know, please.
The Rumi quote. I got so many Rumi quotes. I'm just digging this whole thing.
Okay.
All right, so a couple Rumi quotes. We'll take another caller. Rumi. Now, I don't know what Rumi's accent is, so I'm just going to use my own. I wish I could use Stefan's, but it's not a possibility. Let's see. What's a good one for this moment? Here's a good one. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion.
Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful.
That just resonates in major ways. Yes. Deep. What is that? Exhale. Deep.
All right. No, I'm liking this. One more.
Okay.
Let's see. What's another really good one? Let's go with this one. My heart is bursting with the joy of the unknown. My heart is expanding 1,000-fold.
I relate totally to that. That's beautiful.
The joy of the unknown. I wrote in my going into the Western Sahara post. I think we've talked about it before. How I wrote uncertainty is bliss. You know.
I live my life that way. It has to be.
Yeah, I have a really hard time doing long-term planning. I just get really, really lost in the idea of trying to tell someone what my plan is 5 years from now. Like,
oh no,
my eyes go
cockeyed. Even do it a month from now.
Yeah. Either.
You know?
I can't eat. No.
Yeah. 5 years is a really long time. A month, no. I especially with how changing. You know, how can you say what you want to be, considering where we are in our place in our human evolution?
Right.
where we are right now, with every day feeling like there's such a big breakthrough both in the exterior world as well as our interior worlds, knowing that the world is changing so much so, trying to say, this is, and this kind of, before we bring on our next caller, this actually brings up something I wanted to talk about. It makes, about the whole planning thing, when we're evolving so fast and things are happening so quickly, how hard it is to put a plan together. Because I talk to people every day. I do Reiki sessions. I do distance healing work with people. And one of the main themes that I get in almost every single session is people say, that they feel like they are at the precipice of their mission, of their life, why they came here into this world, but they don't have any idea of what it looks like to be doing or who they're supposed to be doing it with. And I think that there's so much empowerment when you can just surrender to what it's going to look like, what exactly you're going to be doing,
to not knowing,
and to not knowing exactly. Ruby says everyone has been made for some particular work, and the desire for that work has been put in every heart. And so if you feel like you're at that place where you aren't sure what you're supposed to be doing, it's because you're already doing it. There's no most likely. You already are. Everybody's doing it. I think we all came here to fulfill a role for where we are now. We're doing it already, whether we realize we're doing it or not. But as things continue to change and unveil and develop, the people that we're attracted to in our lives that we're supposed to be working with will come, and the epiphanies and the realizations that we need to know what we're supposed to be doing in each moment of now
will unfold.
Will unfold
yes.
in our path, in our energetic trail.
This is when what Heather says, that people get so like uptight about sometimes, just be and do. Be and do. Be and do. Well, that sounds so nonsensical in some ways. It is exactly right.
Yes.
Just be who you are. Do from that being. And that in itself is brilliant. It is exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes. And follow the energetic trail. Like I remember when I kind of where I got my start in all this was that Poof interview that I did back in August or whatever that it was, and I remember seeing at the end of one of Poof's posts, it said for consultation, email to goforth@safemail.net, and I don't know what it was, but that was so highlighted for me. I had no idea what I wanted to talk to this guy about, but I knew that for whatever reason I had to call him and I had to take that opportunity. And it led to me linking up with American Kabuki. It led to me linking up with Heather and doing everything with Dee and Kuila Pele and starting and Lisa Harrison, and the rest is history.
Lydia and Rose, have you noticed in your lives? I'm sure you have. You have to. I'm sure, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out there anyway. These what I call velvet hammer synchronicities. It's like it happens, something happens and it's like you just cannot ignore it. It means something that, you must do whatever this urging is, and it just changes everything. It turns your life.
Yes, absolutely. I've definitely experienced that, absolutely. And sometimes it's so subtle, and other times a little bit more obvious. But it's just that inner knowing, absolutely. Just even though you might have the what's the reference point, like the butterflies in the belly feeling about it, if you go ahead and go with it in this beautiful resonance that is now, it's the right way to go. The right way to go.
Yes. Working with synchronicity. How about you, Rose?
Yes.
I imagine that there's, considering synchronicity brought you and Lydia together.
Yes, definitely. It's been amazing, all the synchronicities. It's beautiful. We're on a beautiful time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We sure are. This is incredible. I've had I've had several of them over the past many years that, it just made me know that when this comes, like I was supposed, my grandmother's 99th birthday was it was Monday, 2 days ago, but the celebration for it was on Saturday, and it was in Southern Illinois, and, I had planned on going. I was going to figure out, it always worked out, I wasn't going to, that was going to happen. And then about 4 weeks ago, all of a sudden, that energy just went away. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And it was just, I just felt it and kept feeling for it. And the energy was like, no, you're not supposed to go. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't. And I ended up doing something else. I went up and visited a friend of mine for her daughter's wedding, and I was a huge help with that. And it was, an amazing, filled up weekend. And I know that for some reason I was meant to be there and not, at my grandmother's 99th birthday, which is just like, really? But I know how it feels so well that I just don't question it anymore.
How important is it to learn to follow that inner voice?
I think, if I may, I think it's absolutely of the utmost importance for all of us now. I truly do. Because we are definitely honing our inner tools right now.
That is our technology.
Yes. And the more we do it, the more at ease we are with it. Yes.
And how often is it that when we don't follow that inner voice, something happens and we look back and we say, I knew I should have trusted that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's all too frequent. It's my fiance Brittany has like this crazy intuition that she relies so fully on. So I've learned to something comes up and her intuition, she's sitting right here, and her intuition is speaking really loudly to her, and she'll tell me what it's saying. I'm like, I'll go with it because I realize that it's such a powerful tool when you can tap into it. Because it's always giving you messages. It's always talking to you. It's always telling you which way to go.
Well, and I would imagine that Rose is very tapped into that, so much so that it's probably doesn't even feel different than anything else.
Well, what's interesting with that is I was supposed to be in Europe this month, and the energies were going against it, and Lydia kept telling me, no, I think you're supposed to be here, how do you feel about it, and so on. And didn't go, and it ended up that I met Rasha, and also this phone call, and so on. So it's really been really beautiful that I didn't go on the trip, and all this other synchronicities fell into place. So, I try my best to keep it centered and follow that intuition, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I really do too. I do it as clearly as I can. There are times when I wonder, where is that coming from? But I can always feel it in my body. I can feel what feels calming and what feels constricted. Constricted, I know that there's something that I need to let go of, or that is not the right way of going with it. And I just listen to that all the time now, and allow it, just allow it to show. Because, my goodness, not going to my grandmother's 99th birthday, and all my family from all over the place gathered, for it, including my niece and nephew from this area, and I haven't seen them in a while even. But it was absolutely clear to me that just was not meant to happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's a surrender. It's a surrender to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
exactly.
that? You have to surrender to it, to that intuition.
Yeah.
Because fighting it just it makes everything kind of go haywire when you fight it.
Exactly.
I learned that
and
very well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I learned that very well. Lydia went through that this month.
Yeah. Well, I think I have too, so much so that I didn't fight this one at all, and I didn't even go into the I'm gonna miss seeing everybody and all of that kind of stuff. I didn't even go there. I just knew that it was what it was, and I needed to just be with that. Be exactly the way it was. I am with that, and so I feel really positive and in sync with that. So yay, because that would not have happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I want to know the Judy from a couple of years ago. I can't imagine you being any different than your amazing, awesome, joyful self.
Well, I was always pretty joyful for the most part, but yeah, no. I think you're probably better off with this one. This version of me that is right here.
Oh, version 3.5? Judy Jandora?
Something like that.
Do we have more callers? We're on the same page. Let's bring them on.
All right, let's roll. All right, so we have got area code 949. Area code 949?
Nope, Orange County.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, David. I live in Capistrano Beach area in Southern California.
Yes. A hop, skip, and a jump from me. David, how are you?
Yeah, I had emailed you, Brian, recently. I'm not on Facebook either, Lydia, so don't feel so bad. And I'm pretty much a computer expert, so.
I emailed you back. I said that when I put a meetup together in Southern California, that I'd give you a call. You're that Capistrano Beach guy.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to say, I honor you guys, and your integrity is so fulfilling for me and everybody. It's been such a journey. I've gone through a lot of, you could say hardships, but I think of it as just diving in some deep water for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later you're going to get out of that deep, dark water.
Well, and you're going to learn a lot from being in it.
Exactly. And then from there, I don't know if you guys are real familiar with Kundalini uprisings, but I've had more than one, if you know what I mean about when the spirit rises.
I've heard about it, definitely.
Yes. And there's one thing I was thinking about while I was listening tonight. I'm kind of a numbers guy. I can see patterns in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you take like the symbol of infinity, and you put what most people start infinity when they think of infinity with the number 1, which is basically infinity also. But if you take the sideways 8 and put a negative on the left side and a positive on the right side, and can you visualize sooner or later in an eternal world that we live in or that we're in? It's more than a world. That just it goes always from the negative to the positive, which sooner or later it melds into one. I think that's what the one people really stand for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that, it reminds me of how I see the yin yang symbol. I see it as being a three-dimensional object, and when it's balanced, and it spins. And when you had the negative on one side and the positive on the other side, I felt like there was a pulling and a spinning of sorts. I don't know where that came from.
And it's never ending.
Mhm.
Yeah. Rumi says, "Don't turn away. Keep your gaze on the bandaged place. That's where the light enters you."
Mhm. Those are those deep waters. Those are where the real gifts are in life, and
well, so does the axiom, the Hermetic axiom, the as above, so below.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
as
below,
within,
as
so
above.
without.
I mean, it's all the same, really, after a while.
Mhm. Yeah. Absolutely. It's all it keeps coming up in the chat room. It's all about the experience, anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah. And when you can just find we talked about this a couple weeks ago about how important it is to be able to decrease that lag time to where you are paying attention to the experience as you're going through it as an experience that's not right, wrong, good or bad, difficult or easy, light or dark. It's just is the experience. And when you're in that place, when you're in that state of just experiencing it and not letting it shake you or rock your foundation or take you outside of your harmony or your that place of stillness or that place of inner peace, then the experience is nothing but just the experience, not to be judged one way from the other. And not the easiest thing when you're in.
I went through that stage where all the information. I've known about the fraud of the banks for a long time. It's real simple. Follow the money. It's real simple. But trying to get some people to see that, and then the frustration you go through with that. Really do have to let everybody find their own trail up the mountain.
I wish I would have read a book that told me that lesson in the very beginning. It would have saved me a lot of frustration. Because I was that guy, that wanted to talk about it to everybody, and unfortunately, it's not very well received by everyone. But then you realize it's no individual's job to wake another person up. If they want to lean on you for information and they're open and they want to know, cool. But if they don't, that's totally cool too, because ultimately it's the individual's own mission wherever they are and whatever they are receptive to know, learn, understand, or research or digest or what have you. I had just as an example, I was out with some friends in Las Vegas this weekend, and catching up a few buddies up on what I've been doing, and we started talking about the nature of the banking system, and I said, some of the stuff it's so beyond appalling that it's enough to make you sick to your stomach. Some of the stuff that goes on, and the response was, and I was such an aha moment for me, because I realized this is the response of so many people out there is, yeah, I know, man, I know, I don't even want to know about it, and I was like, whoa, and this is from a close buddy of mine. It's like, okay, a guy with family and kids, and I totally respect that, but it's just like that was the polar opposite of how I was with the information. I was like, man, there's something else going on in this world. I want to know about it, but that's not how everybody is just yet.
That's kind of ironic for me, because I was raised in Las Vegas in the late 70s, early 80s, and that town, in that era was, it was basically run by the mob, but they ran that town a lot better than the corporations are doing it now. It's just kind of it's kind of funny. Vegas
kind
has
of ironic.
micro and macro. Yeah, it's a very ironic thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's just that's how it is. Some people aren't ready to have their whole paradigms shattered, and their world, because that's what it boils down to, is the world that we're living in, that we're fed to believe is reality. It isn't that. It's anything but that. And some people, they just want to, kind of stay in their comfort zone, and that's totally cool. All you can do in that place, and it's if I could say that we talked about it the other night, one of Lydia's major jobs in this incarnation is to be a space holder. And that's all you can do for those people in
you can't,
in whatever
send
situation.
a silent prayer to them. Just send them your love, basically.
Yep.
Right.
Hold the mirror up. Hold the mirror up, and just say, okay, just silent. I mean, because we have our heart field extends at least 10 feet. So if they're within 10 feet of you, it's going to hit them anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole space holding thing, I think, is incredibly important. I did that for years, and now I'm doing it in another way. I'm doing it also, but I'm also doing this. But what I wanted to say too, Brian, about what you're talking about as far as exposing everything that's going on, there's another facet to that as well, from my perspective, and that facet would be that I like to know what's going on as well sometimes, and then there are times when I also kind of get this message that says, is the more that you look at a reality, the more that you feed it information, the more that you feed it your focus, the more it is actual reality. So when you take your attention away from what you don't want, you are letting go of something and literally being able to move into what you do want more clearly without holding on to that. I
totally agree with that statement. this came up on the interview that I did with Sierra Neblina the other day. We were telling her all sorts of stuff about the straw man and how our birth certificates are monetized and all and going through all these things that were very new for her. And at one point in the conversation, she said, if you're not sick to your stomach and you're not mad at this point, then you're not paying attention. And I said, I look at it this way. I understand that when you find out about this stuff, it's enough to make you crazy in the beginning when you first learn about it. But sooner or later, you kind of go through the same process that you would. It's like the grief process. You go through those stages of grief. I said, but sooner or later, you get to the point where you realize that
you get a neutrality.
Yeah, you become neutral about it, and it's empowering. I'm one of those. I want to know the truth because I believe the truth will set me free. I want to know all the things that have happened in the world. I don't care how sick and how disgusting they are, because I don't pay fear energy into them. I don't look at what the bankers do and say, oh, these bloody banksters, we're going to get them and grab your pitchforks. And we've gone through this on a lot of the other shows, so I'm like a broken record on this. But it's all about reconciliation and understanding that everybody has a role. Some have had very extremely difficult roles, and those are some of the positions of these 13 families and this Illuminati and so on and so forth. I hold no ill will, animosity, or hard feelings for these people anymore whatsoever in my life at all. There's no fear. I don't pay any energy of trying to be a fear monger. I put out information.
I know
out.
You don't. I know you don't.
No, I'm not saying this as a response for what you said as far as don't pay energy into it. I'm saying I'm just bringing it up because it makes a good illustration for how you can go about handling emotionally some of this stuff that with the Matrix it's really hard to believe.
Yeah, it's a process.
You know what I mean? Take it in. Let it process it, let it flow through, but don't let it bring you to a place of, oh my God, I need to buy 3 more door locks and lock my doors extra tight at night because then you're paying worry into it.
Like Heather says, it is done. And
it's
done.
Like
Lydia, we all are, but Lydia too, especially because I heard her voice on that show, and I was crying. It brought the tears, but it wasn't the crying tears. It was more like she's a family member from a long time ago. Recognition,
right.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Lydia, you made more eyeballs cry that night than all the teeny boppers that watched The Notebook combined.
I'm not a teeny bopper, and I still wail at that movie. I can't go anywhere for 2 days after.
I'm just saying, in all the right ways, in all the good cries. So, everybody, you're awesome. That's all I can say about that.
It's the joyful family reunion, isn't it? It's very, very emotional sometimes when you're having, and that's what we're having is this huge, beautiful family reunion.
We're remembering that, yes, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like when I went to see Avatar for the first 3 times. I never got to see a movie more than once. I sat there and my eyes, I had tears rolling. I wasn't crying, but I had tears rolling out my eyes constantly, just drenching my shirt because.
How is that not crying? I don't get it.
Well, it was like I wasn't physically crying, but it was a recognition. It felt like, oh my God, that's my home. I know that.
Yeah.
I know this. I know that love. I know that togetherness. I know how that feels. I know how it feels to run through those trees. I literally felt like James Cameron tapped into my subconscious and said, do you remember? And I was like, yes, I do.
Have you guys seen that movie, that guy that did the Ace Ventura Pet Detective movie?
Oh, yeah, the I Am.
Yeah, I saw that on Netflix the other day. That seemed to be pretty interesting, what he went through. He had a major illness, a major accident, and then he just got fed up with probably the wealth, or I wouldn't say he got fed up with the corruption of it, maybe exactly, and then this, the status you have to keep up with your like keep up with the Joneses or whatever.
Yeah, and the
you
things
have to
you have
keep up
to do to
with,
stay within
Steven
that
Spielberg
realm.
or something. Yeah.
Well, his thing was so amazing. His aha moment. He was standing inside the foyer of his new mansion in Beverly Hills, and all his stuff just got delivered. It's this like $10 million mansion, and he was standing there, and he had this conscious recognition of this is everything he's ever dreamed of, and he wasn't any happier than before.
Right.
And this $10 million mansion with all this stuff, and so I mean, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, because you always think, gosh, I so many times in my life growing up, it's always about that next thing. If I can just get this next thing, I'll be happier. And then you get it, and that's why they say that longing, if it's attached to trying to find something outside of yourself, it's never going to be enough. You're always going to want that next thing. That's why it's so important to know that it all comes from within.
Absolutely.
That everything you ever need in life all comes within. And it's a perfect time for a Rumi quote. He says...
Well, and hold on just 1 second, too, because I just want to let you know we've got a little less than 30 minutes to go, and we've got a couple more callers.
Okay.
So
here's my Rumi quote, and then you can take a caller.
I'll let you guys go.
Thank you, David. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, guys.
Call in again anytime.
I'll call in again. Thanks a lot. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
This just tags on to what I was saying, and then we could take a caller. So Rumi says, why are you so enchanted by this world when a mine of gold lies within you?
Oh.
How relevant is that to all
that is right on. Ding, 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 ding.
Thanks, David. All right, brother. All right, let's bring another caller on.
Okay, let's do area code 252. Area code 252, are you there?
252.
Hey, cool. Hello?
Hey.
Who's this?
Hey, how you all doing?
Is this Randy?
Hey, this is Sonny.
Oh, hi,
I'm
Sonny.
from Roots. Hi, how you all doing?
Good. Is this Maverick Man?
This is Maverick Man.
Oh, I'm so glad you called in.
Well, thanks. I've been trying for a good while, but this is the first time I got through.
Yay.
I didn't really have anything to contribute to the show other than love and all the people out there in the chat rooms, and I just wanted to say hi.
Well, hi.
Hello.
Hey. We love you, Lydia. You bring tears to our eyes, that's for sure.
Oh, well, I love you too, my brother. It's the feeling is mutual.
And since I found this group, well, actually started the OPT, but I've just grown into it. I mean, it's resonated from the beginning, and I can't miss a show. Sometimes I can't get through on the computer, so I get on the phone. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate you being a part of the chat rooms. And I know that I'm in there a lot on the other shows, and I like your input and love that you called in to say you love. That's awesome.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you all. I mean, you really inspired my life. You really have.
Well, you're inspiring ours too, bud.
Sonny, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that, and we appreciate your love and support. And don't ever say you don't have anything to contribute, because that love is all we need, my man.
Okay, I appreciate that, Brian. You guys are great. I really appreciate it. I don't want to take any more of your time, but I love you all.
Call anytime.
Love you too, man.
Bye, Sonny.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Maverick Man. I like that.
Maverick Man.
Cool.
Great.
See you, Sonny.
Awesome.
Is he Maverick Man in the chat room? Is that what it is?
He is.
Oh, I know Maverick Man. Oh,
yes,
man.
of course you do. Now, I think we've got one more here. I'm trying not to overlap. Some people haven't taken down their hand up unless they want to talk again. I get a little confused, but it looks like we've got area code 858.
Oh, is that Mitch?
858?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Oh, it's Mitch.
Brian.
Mitch.
Brother, how are you?
I'm good. Let me introduce Mitch real quick.
Okay.
Mitch is a close friend of mine. This is Mitch Gerber. And he also has a beautiful accent. I'm pretty sure it's South Africa, though, right, Mitch?
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
Ooh,
Mitch. I met Mitch going to Falun Dafa, and Mitch was actually just over at my house a couple weeks ago for an engagement party, and I told him to call in one of the shows because he has dedicated the last either 7 or 11 years of his life, I can't remember, he's going to have to correct me on that, to spreading the message of Falun Dafa and raising awareness to this beautiful cause and this beautiful practice. And he missed the first Monday and Tuesday because we had so many callers call in. So, Mitch, I'm so glad to finally hear from you, man. First of all, I love you.
Falun Dafa, that's how I've always pronounced it. So it's Falun Dafa?
Falun Dafa. Yeah, Falun Dafa. First of all, I love you. Secondly,
I love
you're
you
awesome.
too, brother.
and third, now you have What's up, Mitch?
Well, brothers and sisters, Brian, I love you too, brother. Thank you for allowing me to grace or speak about this beautiful practice. And just I was hearing yesterday and the other night about how you are sharing your love and your compassion to the world and with yourselves and reuniting as a family as a lovely, beautiful lady, the fairy godmother, as I call her. Fairy godmother, her name, I believe, is Lydia. She kind of reminds me of a fairy godmother.
Lydia. Fairy godmother, I love
yes, the fairy
it.
godmother. Sprinkling her fairy dust. And Brian,
yes.
Brian, you know, and I'm grateful to Brian, but I just wanted to call in and thanks for Brian for allowing me to share with you about this very serious issue. I'm a spiritual warrior. That's what I am, guys. I hold no name. I lead no reward. For the last 13 years of my life, I've been exposing a very serious genocide, and I know we can talk about ascending all day long, and which is important. Yet we face reality. We've got to face reality, as Bob Marley used to say, and to fail to support the righteous and to fail to expose evil atrocities done by wicked people, which unfortunately have lost sight of ascension through compassion and truth and tolerance, cannot be denied and cannot be, kept to the sidelines. So I just wanted to share with, as Brian mentioned, about Falun Dafa, if I may lend your ears for just a second.
Please.
It's an issue. Okay. In 1992, I came to practice this in 2001. I've always been interested in the Eastern way, a very powerful and mystical way, very similar but different to the Western world. It's more of an Eastern following of the way and following the course of nature. And in 1992, a practice, namely Falun Dafa, also known as Falun Gong, was introduced by a teacher, a humble, genuine Qigong master, as they call him in the East. And introduced this particular Buddhist mind and body practice, or Qigong as it's called, very similar to Tai Chi, but more of a Qigong, namely Falun Dafa, also known as Falun Gong. And it's spread to become the largest practice in China. And I use a hyperbole. I was kicked off a very mainstream radio show because I used a truthful hyperbole to describe this practice as becoming the largest practice after 1 out of every 12 Chinese people were practicing, because it's very inconceivable that the numbers, but it's a truth that cannot be denied. And anyway, to cut a long story short, shows like yourselves, people like yourself, are much more open and to hear than the mainstream media, who are still very blocked, but yet are waking up very slowly but surely, thanks to beautiful light warriors and light goddesses and light kings as yourselves, who are spreading messages in courageousness and in divine time, as we are living in now. And Bob with Bob, and with Lisa, and with Heather, and with Brian, and with Lydia, and Maverick Man, who just who came on Vibe, and all these different people who have come down from worlds and dimensions, representing very huge, colossal firmaments of great love and embodiment of existence of divine grace, is quite amazing in this time and place in this historic period of life. So anyway, to cut a long story short, forgive me for randomly deviating from the issue, but let me get right to the point in terms of the issue of Falun Dafa. It became the largest spiritual practice in China, won all the Qigong awards, health awards, holistic awards in communist China between 1992 and 1998. 1 out of every 12 Chinese people were practicing. And Falun Dafa incorporates a Buddhist-style Qigong exercise and meditation practice where there are 4 standing exercises to unblock the energy channels, to purify the body, and to rectify the body, and a meditation to attain a clear and clean mind, and to strengthen divine powers, all grounded and based in truthfulness and compassion and tolerance, the essence of the universal laws in any religion, spirituality, and school of upright thought and orthodox school. And in 1998, the government, the communist regime, under the military dictator, grew very hateful and jealous that he couldn't control the hearts and the minds of the population any longer. At least 10% of the people who were practicing Falun Gong, from all levels of the major military generals to CEOs to high school students to professors to peasants in the rural areas, all walks of life, all social classes, 1 out of 12 Chinese people. He couldn't control the hearts and the minds of the people any longer because of the spiritual independence and liberation. And if you know anything about China, there is no freedom of press, religion, spirituality, the divine culture that was once so rich in the divine dynasties of the Tang dynasty and the Ming dynasty and the Qing dynasty, the first emperor of China, that wherever you were, there was a spiritual harmony. All the scholars used to sit in meditation. There was a spiritual harmony and connection between man and woman, of love and light and abundance that shine bright through the gods and the universe and the Buddhas and the Taoists. And they all come together as one to unite in true divine love. As we were all sharing today and coming to awaken and ascend to today in this time, and even more so tomorrow, and in the future even more so. But under the communist dictatorship, there is no freedom, and it is anti-universe. It believes only in killing and degeneration of the soul and the control and brutal tyranny and bloodshed of between 60 and 80 million people, more than 2 world wars combined between 1949 and this present day, under the communist dictatorship, ever since Mao Zedong entered into China and took over China under this communist regime, the official title being the Chinese Communist Party. And in 1999, a full-on crackdown and persecution of this particular practice commenced, the Falun Dafa commenced. First slandered as an evil cult, the sinister religion, to turn public opinion against the world's people and the Chinese people. And the Falun Dafa were victimized, brutally dehumanized. Their marriage licenses were taken away, their children were taken away. Anyone who mentioned or stood up for Falun Dafa and said that this is good, or went to the government and said, look, why are you killing my innocent, why are you hurting our people, why are you slandering my family's name, why are you taking away my marriage licenses and my children just because I want to practice something so pure and so innocent and that adds value to the society as a whole. And the communist regime didn't listen. And then the military dictator of the communist regime, Jiang Zemin, who will be brought to justice eventually, and the name will be truly exposed in the future, he outlawed the practice. And not only did he outlaw it, turn public opinion against it, but for the last 13 years now, substantial evidence has come out through international human rights lawyers that there are at least 40 concentration death camps in China that are through the orchestration of the communist dictatorship and of at least 1/4 of China's gross domestic profit for the last 13 years, sending forcefully hundreds and thousands of Falun Gong practitioners or Falun Dafa practitioners to these death camps, cutting out their organs while they're alive and selling the organs as the most healthiest organs in the world illegally without any consent, and then cremating the bodies or selling the bodies without any record of them to the body exhibitions around the world for millions, multi-millions of dollars of profit. And this has been going on right now for the last 13 years. So I just wanted to express this to you and share this with you.
Mitch, where can people go to find out more information about Falun Dafa? Let me just real quick here before you go, Mitch. So I actually met Mitch at one of his Falun Dafa classes, and it's such a beautiful practice. We became friends right away. It was definitely one of those soul family kind of deals. But I was amazed by Mitch because Mitch left his job and he started holding these Falun Dafa classes pretty much every day a week at a different location for free for anybody that wanted to learn the practice and anybody that wanted to.
Can you come to Maryland, Mitch?
Every single day. Can you go to Maryland, Mitch, to host the Falun Dafa class?
Well,
I'm kidding. So go ahead.
I know.
Hey, Mitch, me and you will take a road trip to Maryland to go see Judy. So, anyways, I was just so blown away by such selfless service to dedicate your life for as many years as Mitch has to raise awareness for this atrocity that's been going on in China. And I every time I see Mitch, I tell him, look. The energy that supported these things is about to no longer be able to exist any longer,
True.
And but we have to operate in the now, and right now it is still a problem out there, and the more awareness like this, the less they can keep it hidden and they can keep it in the dark through these communist regimes like they have in China. So, Mitch, you're a light warrior, man, and you're a rock star. You're honestly awesome. You're awesome. So where can people go to find out about the info before you go?
Okay, thank you, Brian. God bless you. God bless you, my brother, for your heart support, and I'm very grateful. Just the awareness. Inspiration is education, as Bob Marley would say. I mean, Bob Marley has an amazing enlightenment. He was a prophet, just like Socrates. And what we do in life echoes in eternity. And anyway, I'll continue just to allow you to know where you can go more about the information. There's a really good publication, those who are interested to learn about China, a great publication, namely the 9 commentaries on the Communist Party. You can look it up on YouTube, or you can just go to 9 commentaries, N-I-N-E, number 9, but spelled out, 9commentaries.com, and you can read it, or you can watch it on YouTube. Also, you can go and type in organ harvesting in China or Falun Gong in China. Now, there is, unfortunately, guys and ladies, there's a terrible propaganda, but you'll know the truth. You understand what the discernment is, what the falsehood is, and the sincerity is of things that are written and which are demonizing and what are true. So I'll leave it up to your discretion and your discernment. But if you just go to Falun, F-A-L-U-N, that's F for Frank, A for Apple, L for Lucky, U for Umbrella, N for Nancy, info, info.com or .org. .net, I'm sorry. And there's many articles that you can research. I suggest not going to the communist or the Chinese websites, because they're all full of propaganda, and they'll just slander it as a cult, and it's not. It's just a very peaceful practice that has been so brutally persecuted in China. You can also go online to FOFG.org, and you can go to there's a really good book called Bloody Harvest, written by David Kilgore and David Mattis, the former Secretary of State to the Asian Canadian Parliament Cabinet Department in Canada, and an international human rights lawyer, as well as the Vice President of the European Union, Edward McMillan-Scott. They have put together a book called Bloody Harvest, which you can download online.
Cool. Awesome.
So yeah, please look up and thank you, Brian, for just at least allowing me to raise awareness. And God bless everybody, and just keep on rocking the groove, living the dream, and riding the spiritual wave of total ascension in consciousness and compassion. So I love you guys, and God bless you all. And thank you for allowing me to share about the Falun Dafa.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. We love you.
I love you too, Lydia. And Brian, Ziggy's not playing on Fridays. Ziggy's playing on the 31st. It's Soja on the Friday. So if you want to get together with me, brother, let's rock it.
Okay, sounds good, brother.
Okay, brother. Much love. Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Take care. Bye,
you
guys.
Too,
bye.
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 Okay, so we've got about a little over 10 minutes left here. But so Brian, go ahead and I think we've made it through most of the callers, if not all of them, tonight. Yay, we did well.
That's a lot of callers we had tonight.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know that was a little bit heavy with the it's sad and it's terrible what's going on out there. Mitch is such an amazing guy. To host classes every day. Imagine being a yoga instructor and doing it 7 days a week and not charging $1. I mean, that's pretty much what Mitch does. And he's been doing it every day for 7 years.
Thank you, Mitch, for all of us.
Yeah. What a beautiful heart. What a beautiful heart.
Big time. Oh, he's a big tall teddy bear too. I love Mitch. Mitch, I love you. I know you're still listening, man. I love it. We're supposed to go to the Ziggy Marley concert on Friday. That's funny. Okay, so 10 minutes to go. Do we have any more callers?
No, I think we've gone through the callers, and I'd love for Lydia and Rose to kind of give their thoughts and comments on whatever they've heard tonight, and just what they're thinking, and just add some more of your beauty to this time that we have left.
Perfect.
Go ahead, Sister
Lydia,
Rose.
Rose? Haven't heard from Rose in a while.
Yes.
Okay. I did just write some thoughts I had, and I'd like to share them. Okay.
Please.
We were unconscious creators who created much through fear. We shifted into conscious creators, now creating through love. We are made of the same things as the earth. The earth is gravity, which is magnetic energy. We are the pioneers who have awakened into the realization that we are all one. So with that knowing, what if we create and see all of humanity as awakened in and through our love energy, and not look back at what was and continue walking ahead as magnetic beings that we truly are? Some may see it as imposing on free will, but in actuality, there is no free will in 3D fear energy. There is only freedom through love.
Love that.
Beautiful.
I'm there with you.
I was muted. That was amazing.
I'm totally there with you, Rose. I think that you're absolutely right. I think we need to start really doing these meditations. I'd like to really even bring, a meditation into this show. It's like, can we get 3 hours? I'm kidding, people. Sort of. Because it's almost like we never have enough time, but I think it's so incredibly important that we do, create, and we're doing a focus here. We're creating a focus amongst all of us, but to do, Bob's meditation last night, I actually thought about having him, getting in touch with him and asking him if he would create some for us each week. And I know that that's quite a task, but, create some meditations for us each week so that we can really get this focus into, or this intention into a focus. And like you said, walk forward in the magnetics, because what we want and wish and see and ask for and feel, we pull to us. And what we don't want to see, feel, and we must let go of.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. How true of a statement that is.
Yes.
Perfect time for a Rumi quote. You're gonna love this, Judy, and then Lydia. I'm gonna give it to you because it's your turn. It says, Rumi says, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes around in another form."
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So Lydia.
Very beautiful. Well, I was just going to add that I beautifully put with what Rose wrote, and how we all acknowledge, and what you touched on, Judy, there is that feeling. We spoke briefly about that on the call, I think the call last night, when Lisa referenced the work of Neville Goddard, and it's paramount. It's that feeling, absolutely knowing, just as you breathe, what it is that you want, what it is that we want, as this beautiful family, and it's that feeling and that knowing is what will bring it around to us. And it's truly of the utmost importance to know that. And his work is beautiful. So if if anybody hasn't had a chance, or even if you have, just to refresh your mind on it, it's remarkable.
I had never heard of him before, and I went in today, or yesterday, last night, and today, and listened to a few, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe I haven't run across him before.
Right, and it just truly emphasizes what we are doing, what we are all doing by having these beautiful, heartfelt conversations. We are actually creating what this beautiful planet is now. That's how powerful all of this is. So just wanted to state that these beautiful beings that have talked tonight, it's their beautiful big hearts that are what are creating what we are accomplishing now.
Absolutely.
And I have a quote.
Okay, and Lydia, before you get there, I need to ask you, because it's been asked in the chat room a couple of times, where your other quote came from as well.
From the beginning of the call.
You mean the blurb on joy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I
go ahead,
email it to somebody, because I don't have it right offhand, and then you can put it down for people? Since I don't have an access to do that.
Yeah, I'll give you my email after the show, Lydia, so no problem.
Okay, and then I can find it, and I'll give it to you, and you guys can set it in there.
And we'll put it on Enjoy the Show Facebook page, people. So I'm sure most of you are members, so go ahead.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah.
And go ahead with your new quote.
Since Brian was doing so many beautiful quotes from Rumi, I know possibly a lot of people have read the work of Yogananda Paramahansa. I think, Brian, you referenced him before, the autobiography of Yogi.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I study his teaching.
I love it. I do too. And this one I thought is so appropriate. It came to mind, and it says, he quoted, "From joy I came, for joy I live, and in thy sacred joy I shall melt again."
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Joy is like the energy that is all that is, and we come from it, we play within it, we melt back into it, we come back out again, and we play some more.
And at SRF, we sing along to that song. From joy I came.
Now I have one to also offer.
In joy I live. Sorry.
And this is one that I came up with, or I've posted it several times over the years, and I'm sure most of you have heard this, but I just love this, and I think it's so profound. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that is from Martin Luther King.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Well, we're down to our last 90 seconds, and I just want to really quick say a huge thank you to Rose. So nice to meet you for the so nice to finally speak with you for the first time.
Yes,
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
You're so very welcome. And Lydia, thank you so much for sharing this 2 hours with us, and your beauty and your gifts, and that goes for the both of you. Lydia, you have quite the support team around you with all of these wonderful people that are so moved by what you bring to the world. And I just want to say, keep up the awesome doing and the awesome being, because it is absolutely contagious. And every time you talk, I feel like the little Pillsbury Doughboy that wants to go and go, like Coke.
Can I get in all of the other shows here really quickly within the next 20 seconds? I'm sorry. Okay, so Thursday we have, we're open on Thursday, I think. Friday we have the Remembering Saturday, the Transitioning. Sunday, Elemental Evolution, Monday, the One People, and Tuesday, the Collective Imagination. There, we got that done. And thank you so much, Lydia and Rose. I loved having you here.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much to everyone.
Yep.
Absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat room. I love you all, and I know you love all of us, and we're all one, and nothing could happen without the others. And I just want to send my big, huge heart out to all of you and give you a big, huge hug to everybody that listens to this now and forever.
Much love, everyone. Namaste.